You may assert there's no waste in the Pentagon. You may assert there's no waste in
Stephen,
Treasury.
I'm not
you may assert there's no waste in HHS.
That, Stephen, I don't think anyone...
Then why are you not celebrating these cuts? If you agree there is waste, if you agree there is abuse, if you agree there is corruption, why are you not celebrating the cuts, the reforms that are being instituted? It is true that many of the people in this room for 4 years failed to cover the fact that Joe Biden was mentally incompetent. It is also true that many people in this room who have used this talking point that Elon is not elected fail to understand how government works. So I'm glad for the opportunity for a brief civics lesson. What President Trump is doing is he is removing federal bureaucrats who are defying democracy by failing to implement his lawful orders, which are the will of the whole American people. We have these giant cavernous office buildings in Washington, D.C., carved out of marble, stone, and granite in the Greek classical style, some of the most gorgeous buildings on earth. The taxpayers fund it, they pay for it, they upkeep, they provide electricity to, and no one's showing up. And what are they doing at home? Watching their favorite streaming shows? It's crazy. Of course they have to get back into the office because they work for everyone watching me today and watching you today. The illegal aliens that Joe Biden brought into our country are not full stop doing farm work. They are not. The illegal aliens he brought in from Venezuela, from Haiti, from Nicaragua, they are not doing farm work. They are in our cities collecting welfare. As for the farmers, there is a guest worker program that President Trump supports. Over time as well, you will transition into automation, so we'll never have to have this conversation ever again. But there's no universe in which this nation is going to allow the previous president to flood our nation with millions and millions of illegal aliens who just get to stay here. And we are especially not going to allow a subset of those illegal aliens to rape and murder our citizens. There is probably no entity in the government that is more of an entrenched power center of unelected bureaucrats with less accountability, less oversight than USAID. They funnel money to their cronies all over the world through a swampy network of NGOs, non-governmental organizations. What Democrats are saying is they oppose democracy itself. They oppose the idea that the American people can elect a man, in this case our President Donald Trump, to reform the government according to the will of the people. This is a battle between the will of the people through their President Donald Trump and the will of an unelected federal bureaucracy. So we and President Trump are on the side of democracy.
Welcome, Carrie.
Hello, Frida.
One space.
I think, I think let's just start. I think you just released the short video, right? Then that video is the reason why we do the Space on X today. So, shall we start?
Oh, yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. So actually, both Frida and I reposted Stephen Miller's short video on X, and for me, actually, Stephen Miller's performance blew my mind. And in fact, when we first started talking about the members of Trump's cabinet, the very first person we introduced was Jia Wu, Stephen Miller, a Jewish American, who originally served as Trump's speechwriter. And now he's serving as a United States Homeland Security Advisor and the White House Deputy Chief of Staff in President Trump's second administration. So when I tried to Google the Stephen Miller's profile, I found Stephen Miller, based on the Stephen Miller's background and even the impression I got from his face, I didn't see that he was so strong, a strong hardliner. So Frida, could you tell me why? I mean, from the Buzz perspective. So, why? I didn't find anything from his face.
I explain a little bit. Yeah. Because we don't know what the Stephen Miller the time he's born. So, but from his talking, I'm quite concerned, and he is, the hunting officer could be quite very strong, because hunting officer means the person had a critical thinking, and has his own, the idea or logic. Because from his performance, I quite thinking he's that kind of person. So that's why I choose the time he born is the rabbit time. It's morning from 5 to 7. But maybe I'm wrong. But because for his he the fat owner is young wood, and young wood sit on the the horse. So we back to your question, like why from his face you can't feel like he's so strong person, because he's a wood. Usually a wood will give people the feeling is better like a gentleman, or the very nice lady, something like that, because their outlook is better softer. But because this wood is born in the monkey month, so that's exactly the autumn. So when the person wood born in the autumn, and it's better like I use the nature to explain. If you plant a tree, then past the hot season, then turning to the autumn. So what you will see? You will see the leaves color maybe turn to yellow, so maybe less leaves. So that's why from his outlook, first I was recognize his hair, because even he's young, he's not many hair, and until now he's nearly, I think it's looks like no hair. So that's the one from his the caterpillar, and we can see what he's look like. That's the one little bit. Then we talk. You already talk a bit about his some he got the study line. I also checked his study line, and do you remember we had one space we talk about well, what do we call is who is your noble person?
Yeah.
Yeah,
About President Trump.
yeah. For the young wood, and for the young wood and young mental, and also young soil, and the noble person should be a cow and goat. So he is born in the cow year. So actually he is a cow. So he is original had a noble person when he's the first 15 years. So that's why we can see, the very important in the time and his growth, and he had one, the called NIA leader, and show him a book about guns, crime, and freedom.
Yeah.
So he had a degree in the political science. So that's kind of, he got the person, noble person, yeah, to lift him to some area. And so that's for him. So that means that he got the first very important 15 years. So he got a lot of opportunity and good people to support him to stand to this stage now. So that's the one. For the face is just because he's a wood. So you just think of the tree, one little tree from spring to autumn, and actually it's quite, getting bigger, like a bit higher. So that's why from his body is bit slim and higher, yeah, something like that. So that's the outside we can look from his, the date of birth. So yeah,
So could
that's
I ask a question? Frida,
yeah,
you just mentioned about since Stephen Miller was born in the cow year, so in his first 15 year, uh, he's a noble person, would guide her, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I mean, he's a noble person. I mean, these two, they didn't know each other.
yeah. They didn't know each other, but we need to understand is in this universe they had the we call the what's called very positive mental. So what is a very positive mental? In the heavenly stem is we call young wood. Then also we call the young mental. So it connects with the direct to the east and direct to the west. So these two is very positive element in the 10 element. So that's very important. So when the person in the earth branch, one is called the monkey. That's exactly the quite powerful, the western. Then another is called the tiger. So these four, if you in this person's date of birth, you got a young wood and got this two together, and we call the positive element. So the positive element person will have the chi is quite positive to support a life. For this word, they have two way. One is support, generate, the next generation, like to support others. Then another way is to destroy. So that's the nature way. So we need to understand this two element is very important for the person being quiet, the stand with the things good for generation. For Stephen Miller is one kind of person, and for Elon Musk is the same, because Elon Musk is he's a fat owner is young wood, and the earth branch is we call sun is monkey. So that's why. So we just watch what they thinking and what they doing. So for this Stephen Miller, and one is he's born in this month, so it's important. So what is this young, we call mental working on him? First is, a lot of people, they're doing their job, it's not they like. Like if I graduate from the school and I got a certificate, then I got a job, the salary is quite good, but I really don't like the stuff things I want to do. But because the salary is good, so a lot of people were doing the job they don't like. But for people, if the young wood and they have this young mental, so in 5 element wood, always need a bit of young mental. So that's the natural way they need. So that's why this person will choose the things he like. That they will not, because they can cut something. It's a bit like a tree. I cut the branch. I cut the branch because I want this tree grow much better. It's not in Chinese we call 断臂. It's like you make a decision more easily than others. You can get out something you don't want. But for some people, they're really hard to struggling, I know this is not good, but because I need depend on that, then I have to do that. So it's the same like a USAID.
Always confused.
It's the same, yeah, because you're doing the things is bad. It's bad, but because I have to depend on that, so I can't do it. But for the people, they have this element combined together, they can decide, say, no, this is no good. Even I can get a benefit from that, I cut that. I don't want that. I look for more is for my future. So for other good, for maybe next generation good. So that's the different way. Yeah. I just use the natural things to explain, like, if we got a banana tree, yeah, then one day, accidentally the cow coming and, they destroy this banana tree. It's quite badly, it's a big cut. And so what we do is we have to take whole top up. Then we find the bottom had one little tiny, still alive. Then we give good nutrition things. Now this tree is become, grow up from the baby and become very strong, bigger, the bottom. So future it will grow up, become maybe even more high, bigger banana tree. So sometimes when you give up something, it's not bad for you, because that bad thing is already stop you to continue. So you cut that, you don't need that, you destroy that, it's good for the future. So if I use that explain, so usually people more easy to understand. But for the element, is just showing you that has these things. So he will choose the way he like to do, and turning his personal career from this stage to that stage, because he will choose the job he like to do. That's why you just think when Donald Trump is step off the president for this so tough 4 years, and he still can support Donald Trump. You just think a lot of people, they can't do that. Because they just think, my salary is important, my family is important, my safety is important. They will think a lot of things other way. Then for him, he can think like, the way I do is good for next generation, or good for my country, or good for, the view I saw the future. So he will continually support Donald Trump. So that's the element of power from the face and the way they act.
Yeah, you mean the young wood and the young mental. These two elements show up in the Stephen Miller's date of birth, right? So
Yes.
that means, yes, Stephen Miller doing when Stephen Miller does the things without any hesitation.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. You remind me that, because what impressed me most about Stephen Miller's response is especially when he facing the questions from the left. There is many the left respondent ask the question, right? And
Yeah.
since the left wing respondent always their question, they always skip over the premise and then try to provoke you, and then they reframe the question at the end. But I think Stephen Miller, he never got emotion, right? Instead, he just calmly pull the conversation back to the core logic and started to counter. So I think that is very brilliant. So Frida, I want to ask you another question: is this kind of skill? I mean, the sharp logic thinking and the emotional the control. Of course, we can train it, but from a Basel perspective, do you think some people are just born with this advantage? Of course, you just mentioned about Stephen Miller already has this two elements, young wood and young mental. So this two element gives him the strong power to do the things without hesitation.
Yeah.
But for the other, like you also you also the Jia Wood, right? So for the other Jia Wood persons, Does that means they born with this advantage?
Yes, good question. Yeah. And do you know in China we had a very famous war. It's called the Jiawu 战争. It means Jiawu Defense War in 1984. Not 1884. So the Jiawu means first I use nature to explain. So when a plant or tree is grow in the summer, so during the very hot time, so usually they stop growing. So that time is quite tough time for this plant. You know why? One is too hot. Another is could be shortage of water. So they will face the challenge. You know, you want to survive to the next level, then you have to face the difficult challenge. So that's what we call the defense war. So how you survive in this environment with very hot, very dry, everything is, and not grow so quick like before, So you have to turn your way to another, the future, another way or to go to another stage. So for person is the wood and born in the horse the month and not horse month, the horse day, it's like the fat owner is like that. They quite often to face the challenge. The challenge is could be someone push something you don't like. Then if you not defend yourself, and you maybe have to got a massive trouble, or you're not happy, it's all this kind of thing. So for the fat owner, if they are Jiawu, they have to learn the skill how to defend themselves. Yeah, why I say that? Because when I was little, actually no one teach me this kind of skill. So, but inside my heart is always had, for some people, if they're angry, their fire will goes explode, it's, everyone knows it's angry. But for the Jiawu, it's, the fire is inside your body. So you're not happy is inside your body, or you want to defend yourself is inside your body. But you maybe take action, you maybe not take action. It depends on the environment you grow, but it's the power is still there. So I learned the way is when I not use that way to defend myself, actually I got a lot of not happy for the result, or not happy for the things I, I faced, and I feel I'm quite loser. It's a bit like, the Jiawu defense war, in the final, they lose. And you will have this strong feeling. So that's why after I was turning to, I can say it's 30, I was just go to this line, to the fat owner line. Then I start to learn from that stage to how to defend myself. So I start to learn a little bit. I study something, and also I communicate with people, or I play some, the online, the arguing things. So all these things is to practice or improve my personal skill to how to, defend your own, or we can say, or idea, or, or something you want to protect, or your people around you or something. So that's the way I learned. So I know for the person is like that, they have to do this way. I think Donald Trump also had one line is this, but it's on the month. So he definitely faced this kind of situation, and he also learned how to defend himself. So that's why, so when you see this, you need ask this person that kind of story. And usually they can tell you, how they're facing some challenge, how they work out with that. But for the Stephen Miller, I think his lucky part is he had a Nobel person is in his first line, also on the year, and he got Inwood. So when Young Wood meet the Inwood, so they had quite stable. They can stay in the spring, they can stay in the autumn. So the situation change for them is they always can find a way to out. So that's the good part for him. That's the one I explained for Stephen Miller. Another way is in element they had some group power. The group power is different, like we call Jia, Gen, Ding. The Jia means young wood, Gen means young mantle. So on the earth, the heavenly stem we call Jia, we call Gen, but on the earth branch we call Shen. So he already had Jia and Shen. So Shen equal Gen, Gen equal Shen. So if you understand you saw this Shen, it means it's Gen. So you can know this bit. Then and the we call the horse, they had one little fire. It's called yin fire. So that's the Ding. So actually in his database, he already had these three elements. So what these three elements working? It's a bit like a gas stove. So you got the mental, the material, and you got the tree, then you got the fire, pop, then it's on. So it will explosive the force. So usually on this wood, if this wood had fire, it's a bit like you had a stick, then you put a fire, so they can see things clearly, and the tree is quite the unite in one certain way. So that's why he had these two. So make him like when we see the video, and when he start to defense, and actually he is so powerful and couldn't stop, so knock people so strongly. Yeah. So that's the three, the one is called Jiawu, another is called Jia Gen Ding. So these three, these two group is beautifully, for him. So he will personally, the showing us this way.
Interesting. And and it seems that you just talk about Stephen Miller through his syllabus with the details. So could we also talk a bit more about the other 5 element types, how they express themselves in the conversation? I think you mentioned about the different 5 element types. They have a different the expression way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, well, I just quickly, explain a little bit like a wood, because, Carrie, you and me, we are both wood. So for wood person, they had the diffuse thinking, they like, the relaxed OQ, large, subsequent, closely, and, so they can result in surprising, connections. So you just think when Stephen Miller talking about things that actually he is connected with something together, he like to use the same, sentence, similar sentence, 1, 2, 3, but for his thinking is quite widely, but even wider, he will push to the main point, to the back to the original. So that's the kind of wood thinking. So even we explore, to this, that, but we can bring all that in, and to the connection to the coin things we're going to talk about. So that's the wood one. They are thinking the way. For the fire, we can see some people is very passionate thinking. So you're talking to them, you just feel, they're so warm, they're so nice, that you're talking to them, you feel the warm chi, it's coming. And so they were more intense motion, the motion, and relate to very strong feeling, like a happy, extremely happy, exciting, so that's the fire person, they thinking model. And for the soil, and they possibly it's a bit like we call the resolute. It's like I stand by my beliefs. So they more like to comfort with their belief, and for that, something maybe is important to doing like a just stick to their idea. Some people don't like, that they quite stand by their belief. For the mental is more connect to the critical thinking. So they usually, if they're thinking something, they I used the example before. I said when mom, he's the young mental, and when he, the punish his kids, I just feel like the wind is blowing, so sharp, so the feeling, it's like someone like a knife to cut, So that's some people had very critical thinking very strongly. So you can, it's easy to get them to bring you to their side. So they will use quite direct way, very critical thinking. And sometimes some way they will give you some pressure. So, some pressure push you to think that way or something. So for the water, it's more like a imagination, because the water like a transform. So for the water, then they will go to the bottom of thinking, because the water, they can go bottom, they can go up to the sky, they can flow. So they had a lot of movement. So we already know the person is Stephen Bannon, and another person is Robert Kennedy. So you just think their way to thinking, something is really difficult to let people to dig, but the water person will. If you talk with a water person, and they will ask you one question by one question, and because they want to find what the truth is. So if you talk with the water person, you have to prepare well, because they will dig, because they can go everywhere. They're so quick to think this way, they're so quick that way. Then so it's not easy to handle that, but it's good if you had that kind of friend, because they will open more things or dig more things for you. So that's the element, the major thinking. Yeah.
Since Frida, do you remember you have told me that the most useful part of a buzz is to know your personality.
Oh yeah. Because we need to know this person. Like if you are kids, and if I, a lot of people, especially Chinese, and they will send their kids, to university to study this. They spend, the millions money, or thousands money, but the problem is, for some kids it's useless. So first you need to know, if you're doing these things for your kids, he will become, the person you think. Some not. So why you spend this money and, to make them more suffer? So that's why understand yourself is very important, and also understand other person is very important for your communicate, and also for your use people. Like if I doing business, if I need to take a holiday, so who I should trust to help my business to continue. You need to understand, some people can do good things, some people can't. Some people can do good things in this area, not that area. So you need to understand this person. So because we all care about, the Trump cabinet. So we need to understand why this person behaving like that, why his way like that, why his story like that. So we had more understanding. So don't put too much, some people will say, oh, this person is useless. This person did nothing. So that's not good statement. So we need to understand. So how this person doing things, and is he can doing good things for American, for the whole world people. So we need to know. So we can decide, do we need to do more support on this person or not? That's our choice. But first, we need to understand. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. And not just for the Trump's the cabinet members, and also for us, since everyone has their own strengths and weakness. Sometimes we need to compromise with ourselves, and most of the time we need to improve, right? So yes, it's pretty useful knowledge. So is almost the time for today's space, Frida?
Oh, yes, because we try to just make inside half an hour, and I'm so happy and had the people. Thanks for coming to our space, and hope if anyone had a question, I'm happy you become speaker, and we can discuss and talk together. Yeah.
Yeah, please leave the comments with us. So thank you for joining us this morning, and we will have a next space next time.
Yeah. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you.
Thank you, Frida.
Yeah.